Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a 2025 model year limited edition of 100 pieces in 5N red gold, black DLC titanium with an Aventurine glass dial. This is the Schaffhausen-built H. Moser Cie Pioneer Flying Hours Aventurine. The original Endeavor Flying Hours, which was a unique satellite hours display, debuted in 2018, but a lot of folks found it difficult to read. So with the jump hours on the rise, and the original Flying Hours, a relatively brilliant but misunderstood watch, the idea was seized upon to turn the Flying Hours into a kind of satellite jump hour hybrid, and that's exactly what we have right here. So it's 42.8 millimeters in diameter, it's 16.4 millimeters thick, 51 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. It's got a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and it wears well, but I'm going to opine that I probably have the smallest wrist that could wear this well. So your wrist needs to be 16 centimeters circumference like mine, or larger, to wear this watch with a handsome proportion. Now it is surprisingly well sloped in profile, so despite not being thin, it might actually clear quite a few dress cuffs and just about all jacket sleeves. It is 120 meters water resistant, so this is a real sports watch, so having a rubber strap makes sense. Perforations vent the wrist. You can see a Moser factory strap on the underside. The lugs are drilled very close to the case to allow a smaller pivot-to-pivot measurement, which improves small wrist fit, and that's why a curved spring bar is used. Character lines molded in, including on the strap minders. We have a DLC blackened, and you can see beveled, coined, and brushed black titanium bezel d'or made buckle. Okay, so that's that right there. The case features recesses that are coined and then coated in diamond-like carbon, and you can see the character line across the top of the lugs here, the break between the DLC and the rose gold. Nice contrast. We also have polish in profile. Moser cases usually feature some sort of recess and internal decoration, and so here it's the coining. We have a Moser crown in Media Blast, Moser branded, screw down, again 120 meters water resistant. Let's do a lume shot, because you might be surprised to learn that this watch actually is luminescent. So I'm not going to lie, it is not a seamless setup because it's not really possible to pre-lume the other numerals before they come into view. So all of the numerals are lumed, but sequentially they may come and go based on whether or not they've had an opportunity to charge up. Really, this is the kind of lume that you use to walk into the dark space and walk out of the dark space. Brief exposure during which you can expect the same hour to remain visible. So this is not a dusk till dawn type of luminescence, but that's okay because it's beautiful. You can see we've got an enormous vaulted, domed bezel that is much larger than a traditional Pioneer because a thick dial and a complicated mechanism are effectively being housed stacked above the main movement underneath this bezel and crystal. So it's taller and more voluminous to make room. You can also see we have a dramatically vaulted and cambered crystal. The dial is Aventurine glass, which is a type of fired enamel glass that's dark translucent blue, and it has metal elements added to create the look really more of infinite space staring up into the sky at night than Aventurine, because natural Aventurine is more of a green color. This is something created by Italian goldsmiths in the Southern Renaissance period, so it's a relatively modern invention by the standards of jewelry and artistic crafts. We have this combination of satellite hours which sit unseen under the dial, and then this rotating reference ring that gives you the minutes. One problem with the original Endeavor Flying Hours was that people just couldn't figure out which hour they were supposed to be looking at. Here it's much more obvious. 5:30, so it's 5:30. Now it is 5:40. Now it is 5:45. You read the little index adjacent to the hour, and it's very, very simple. As 60 passes the outgoing hour, we move over to the other side, and the incoming hour jumps into position. So you can see how it is a combination of a satellite hour, or if you will, a star wheel type system, to use AP's parlance, and then a true jump hour. It has elements of both. Out back, It uses a base that is the HMC 201 with all of the 201's upgrades over the previous 200. So the 200 was a workaday movement in Moser's watches across many models and many different variants, but it wasn't always the most handsome movement. It was technically proficient, but over time it became awfully common. People were asking for a bit more aesthetically. So the 201 was born, and so this is properly speaking derived from the 201 because we have this extensively skeletonized rotor, skeletonized winding train showing you the bidirectional magic lever style winding system, the drivetrain showing the train of wheels down to the escapement. You can see we've got this nickel anthracite coating that the previous 200 didn't have. We've got the double crested Moser stripes, which have been a long-term signature. We've got a machine executed but very handsome bevel, on par with Journe and Audemars Piguet in that regard. And then all of the jewel sinks have been gilded with gold to make them look like vintage Chaton cups. We have snailing for the bridge's outboard, and then we've got polishing on screw heads. You can see they're mirror finished. We've got a 3 Hertz beat rate. We've got ceramic ball bearings for greater winding efficiency. It is a bidirectional winder. 3 Hertz, 3-day power reserve. It does feature a quirky hacking function, and I call it hacking, not stop seconds, because it doesn't actually have a seconds display, but you can stop the movement. And if you do, you can see the Moser produced free-sprung balance. So Moser makes the escapement, the balance, and the hairspring in-house through its precision engineering subsidiary. A very difficult thing to do. It's not a simple matter, and Moser is one of the few independent brands that does not have to go to a large industrial supplier for hairsprings, balance wheels, and escapements. The movement is large at 32 millimeters in diameter, so it was sized properly for large sports watches from the very beginning, and all of this pivots on 35 jewels. It is an impressive high horology watch with a formidable interpretation of a wandering hours and jump hour paradigm sort of crossbred in a way that makes it like no other watch. And that's a rarity, to say that a watch is something unlike any other in the watch industry where everything has been copied and iterated endlessly. You can see the little design at the center of the wheel, as well as the fact that the wheel is internally beveled and has a solarization across its blackened surface. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.